O Divine Spirit, Spirit of truth and of light, dwell ever in my soul by your divine grace. May your breath dissipate the darkness, and in this light may good deeds be multiplied. O Divine Spirit, Spirit of love and of mercy, you pour the balm of trust into my heart. Your grace confirms my soul in good, giving it the invincible power of constancy. O Divine Spirit, Spirit of peace and of joy, you invigorate my thirsting heart and pour into it the living fountain of God's love, making it intrepid for battle. O Divine Spirit, my soul's most welcome guest, for my part I want to remain faithful to you, both in days of joy and in the agony of suffering. I want always, O Spirit of God, to live in your presence. O Divine Spirit, who pervade my whole being, and give me to know your divine triune life, and lead me into the mystery of your divine being, initiating me into your divine essence. Thus, united to you, I will live a life without end. It is with great zeal that I have prepared for the celebration of the feast of the Immaculate Conception of the Mother of God. I have made an extra effort to keep recollected in spirit and have meditated on that unique privilege of Our Lady, and thus my heart was completely drowned in her, thanking God for having accorded this great privilege to Mary. I prepared not only by means of the novena said in common by the whole community, but I also made a personal effort to salute her 1,000 times each day, saying 1,000 Hail Marys for 9 days in her praise. This is now the 3rd time I have said such a novena to the Mother of God, that is, a novena made up of 1,000 Aves each day. Thus the novena consists in 9,000 salutations. Although I have done this now 3 times in my life, and 2 of these while in the course of my duties, I have never failed in carrying out my tasks with greatest exactitude. I have always said the novena outside the time of my exercises. That is to say, I have not said the Aves during Holy Mass or Benediction. Once I made the novena while lying ill in the hospital. Where there's a will, there's a way. Apart from recreation, I have only prayed and worked. I have not said a single unnecessary word during these days. Although I must admit that such a matter requires a good deal of attention and effort, nothing is too much when it comes to honoring the Immaculate Virgin. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Before Holy Communion, I saw the Blessed Mother, inconceivably beautiful. Smiling at me, she said to me, "My daughter, at God's command I am to be, in a special and exclusive way, your mother. But I desire that you too, in a special way, be my child. I desire, my dearly beloved daughter, that you practice the 3 virtues that are dearest to me and most pleasing to God. The first is humility. Humility and once again humility. The second virtue, purity. The third virtue, love of God. As my daughter, you must especially radiate with these virtues." When the conversation ended, she pressed me to her heart and disappeared. When I regained the use of my senses, my heart became so wonderfully attracted to these virtues, and I practiced them faithfully. They are as though engraved in my heart. This has been a great day for me. During this day I remain as though in unceasing contemplation. The very thought of this grace drew me into further contemplation, and throughout the whole day I continued in thanksgiving which I never stopped, because each recollection of this grace caused my soul ever anew to lose itself in God. O my Lord, my soul is the most wretched of all, and yet you stoop to it with such kindness. I see clearly your greatness and my littleness, and therefore I rejoice that you are so powerful and without limit, and so I rejoice greatly at being so little. O suffering Christ, I am going out to meet you. As your bride, I must resemble you. Your cloak of ignominy must cover me too, O Christ. You know how ardently I desire to become like you. Grant that your entire passion may be my lot. May all your sorrow be poured into my heart. I trust that you will complete this in me in a way you deem most fitting. Today there was a nocturnal adoration. I could not take part in it because of my poor health, but before I fell asleep I united myself with the sisters who were at adoration. Between 4 and 5 o'clock I was suddenly awakened, and I heard a voice telling me to join those who were adoring at that time. I understood that there was among them a soul who was praying for me. When I steeped myself in prayer, I was transported in spirit to the chapel, where I saw the Lord Jesus exposed in a monstrance. In place of the monstrance, I saw the glorious face of the Lord, and he said to me, "What you see in reality, these souls see through faith. Oh, how pleasing to me is their great faith. You see, although there appears to be no trace of life in me, in reality it is present in its fullness in each and every host. But for me to be able to act upon a soul, the soul must have faith. Oh, how pleasing to me is living faith." Those taking part in adoration at that time were Mother Superior and a few other sisters, but I recognized that it was Mother Superior's prayer which had moved heaven, and I rejoice that there are souls so pleasing to God. When during recreation the next day I asked which sisters had been at adoration between 4 and 5 o'clock, one of the sisters cried out, "Why do you ask, sister? Perhaps you had some revelation?" I fell silent and said no more. Although I was asked by Mother Superior, I could not answer because it was not a suitable moment. On a certain occasion, one of the sisters, Sister Damien's Jolek, confided to me that she wanted to choose a certain priest as her confessor. Very pleased, she shared the news with me and asked me to pray for that intention, and so I promised her to do so. During prayer, I learned that that soul would gain no spiritual profit from his direction, and then the next time we met, she told me again of her great joy in being under his direction. I joined in her joy, but when she had left, I was severely rebuked. Jesus told me to tell her what he had given me to know during prayer, which I did at the first opportunity, although it cost me a great deal. Today, for a short while, I experienced the pain of the crown of thorns. I was praying for a certain soul before the Blessed Sacrament at the time. In an instant, I felt such a violent pain that my head dropped onto the altar rail. Although this moment was very brief, it was very painful. Christ, give me souls. Let anything you like happen to me, but give me souls in return. I want the salvation of souls. I want souls to know your mercy. I have nothing left for myself, because I have given everything away to souls, with the result that on the day of judgment I will stand before you empty-handed. Since I have given everything away to souls, thus you will have nothing on which to judge me, and we shall meet on that day. Love and mercy.